A new hotspot from Robert, K4WZV, coming up today. Okay, guys, welcome to Ham Radio 2.0. My name is Jason. I'm KC5HWB. If this is your first time to join us here, please click the subscribe button and the bell notification icon below so that you can keep up with all the videos that are posted on this channel. Lots of stuff that's new in amateur radio. So guess what? I got yet another hotspot, and every time I do a hotspot review, I get 85% positive feedback on it, and probably 10 to 15% people saying, well, you should just build your own hotspot. And there's some truth to that. You want to build your own hotspot, more power to you. You can do it. Anybody can do it. All the parts are out there. You can put them all together. You can do it yourself. But maybe not everybody wants to do that. Some people don't like Linux. Some people don't want to put together stuff. So whatever. To each his own. To each his own. I've never built a hotspot myself. I've got all the pieces to put one together, and you're going to see that upcoming on this episode also. But today we are going to talk about the new hotspot from Robert, K4WZV, Whiskey Zulu Victor. And most of you will probably know Robert's call sign from, he's the guy who runs TGIF. He's the guy who had TGIF Talk Group 31665 on Brandmeister for a while, and then it split off, and now it's on its own network with multiple talk groups. And I noticed the other day that he was out there, and he put something on Facebook, I think it was, and he showed me this really cool-looking hotspot. He didn't show it to me. He put this really cool-looking hotspot on Facebook, and I'm like, dude, how can I get a hold of one of those? He's like, oh, I'll send you one. He's like, you gonna do a video? I said, yes, sir, I am. He's like, great, I'll send you one. So we're gonna go through this today, and you can see it's got a really cool Nexion screen on it. It actually came with a 90-degree angle, a 90-degree elbow for the SMA, so that you could set it like this, and the antenna would point up vertically. So you can set it like that on your desk and have it over here, and have it like this, have it sitting like this, so you can kind of set it across the desk and look at the screen and be able to see the screen like this, but then the antenna would still be vertically polarized. But I took that off because I wanted to show it here, because I mainly took it off because it's easier to show on the video this way. So you can see all the stuff at the top. It's got your date, it's got your time, so you know what date I'm recording this video now. Transmit and receive frequency, my call sign, LHTG is last heard talk group. There's my ID right there. There's my location, Galveston, Texas. I'm actually not in Galveston right now. I'm in my ham shack in Grapevine, Texas. But I have a trip planned to Galveston soon, and I plan to take this hotspot with me, so I just went ahead and put Galveston on it. And then, of course, you get your IP address down there at the bottom, which is very beneficial for administration. So the Pi Star is basically just Pi Star. I mean, there's nothing extra about the Pi Star page, which is right here. So we can go to here, and you've got your information down here on the left, just like normal. This is the July 9th version of the Pi Star dashboard. Go into configuration, and this is just like your normal Pi Star stuff. So yeah, I've got it connected right now to TGIF Network. Of course, you've got all these other networks here also. It's going to be interesting to That's a new one. Ozark Digital. I'm not familiar with that. It's going to be interesting to toy with this thing on the Sea Bridge. I've got a video upcoming about how to set up a hotspot on the Sea Bridge, how to set up HB Link, DMR Link, HB Link, and how to set up a hotspot on the Sea Bridge. So stay tuned for that. But right now, let's go through the menu on this really nifty Nexion hotspot. All right, so this is going to be unlike any hotspot I have ever reviewed before. Some people might have seen something similar to this, but this is new for me. I'm going to take my Flex Radio stylus pen with the point on it there to touch the screen on my hotspot. So this is total amateur radio. So I thought that was fun. Anyway, so you've got this so this button right here. Let me make sure I've got my hand out of the way. This button right here at the top right corner is your power on button. So you no longer have to go into the Pi-Star and power off before you pull the plug. You should always do that. I was corrected by someone in a video last time when I put up those DX Mini videos that said, oh, you should power down from inside Pi-Star. And I'm like, I know, but you know how many times I've reloaded Pi-Star just for the heck of it? So, yeah, you're right. You should. Most people don't want to jack with reloading Pi-Star 97 times a week, so it's okay. So that you can power down there, and then this red button on the top left over here is a reboot button. And then this links button right here is where it gets interesting. Now, if I hit the links button right there, see if my stylus even works. There we go. That worked. Now you've got this menu here. I can zoom in a touch. Whoop, that's more than a touch. Okay. So there you've got reboot at the top left. Power off. Here are your 5 modes. DMR P25, NXDN, Fusion, and DSTAR. And you've got all these different pages in here. So this is the dashboard page, which is where we just were. No, it's not. That's a different page than we just were. This is what's called the dash page. You can see your CPU temperature. Still see the IP address, and you've got your power off and reboot buttons there at the top right of the screen. And this little links button here is pretty much on every screen to take you back to this links menu. The info page. There we go. Tells you the screen model and version. The release date. So this was released July 27th, so that was a couple weeks ago. Actually, that July 27th was below the model. That might be, I'm not sure what that is. It's got a release date, and it says July 27th to the right, and then right below the release date, it says 8/21, which is, that's today's date. Again, this you guys can see when I'm recording this video. So the 8/21/2019 at 6:15 p.m. is today's date. The line below that, your IP address, of course. Credits go to... I got to turn it so I can see. I can't read it through the camera. So display... Okay, display versions August 14th, 2019. Credits go to PD0 OIB, lead designer and configuration. Frank Scott, testing and coding. ON7LDS for fonts and basic screen coding. G4KLX for MMDVM. And MW0 I couldn't read that. It looked like those numbers were jumbled together. But that's the Pi-Star guy. MW0, whatever his call sign is. Andy Taylor, MW0MWZ. So I should have that memorized, but I don't. So all of those that's where credit goes for the release of the Pi-Star, the OS, the testers, and the screen updates themselves. It says for more information, email Robert at his call sign, robertbretzman@gmail.com. So there's that. Kind of boring stuff there. You can also adjust the screen brightness with this slider bar right here. Screen got darker, obviously. Screen got brighter. So that's a useful thing on that screen there. Go back to links. That was the info page. Last heard, which it shows you the last heard on the main page. This stylus really isn't made for this hotspot. There we go. So you can do last heard here. Ever since I booted it up, I haven't activated it. So it's technically not sitting on a talk group right now. I didn't want a bunch of traffic to come in when I was demoing it. But you can go to last heard. And you can also, this is a history button right here. This little black button right there says history. And with history, you can bring up more information than what just the last heard screen says. So the flash page is where you can do your screen updates. When a new screen comes out, you can go in here and do screen updates. This is the coolest part, I think, right here is the Wi-Fi page. So you no longer have to go into Pi-Star to scan Wi-Fi. So I pick this up and take it to Galveston, which I'm going to Galveston next week for Labor Day. I pick this up and I take it to Galveston. I'll plug it in when I get to Galveston at the house that I'm staying at with the Wi-Fi that's there. I'll just come into this page, plug it up to power, come into this page. I'll hit scan Wi-Fi. You'll notice that button turns green down there at the bottom. And we'll wait for a few minutes, just like you do if you were to log into Pi-Star and hit scan. In fact, I've always found Pi-Star a little bit buggy because you can scan. Okay, there it is. It came up and says QRZ. That's my SSID where I'm at now. And that's actually where this hotspot is connected right now. So I don't have to connect to it. But I can save it in slot number 1, which is where it's already saved. And I can hit this. Slot number 2, that's some other Wi-Fi network around me that it just scanned. Slot 3, that's another thing around me that I just scanned. So the QRZ's the best one. Anyway, it'll save it right there. It shows you the SSID right there. You can click on save, and then the next time you're in that Wi-Fi spot, guess what? It automatically connects for you. Just, it puts it into Pi-Star is what it does. So that's the coolest part, I think, is the fact that you can do Wi-Fi scanning and connecting directly from the screen of the hotspot and not have to log into Pi-Star. You don't have to log into you don't have to wait for the AP mode to come up, go to 192.168.50.1, log in through a browser on your phone or your computer to the AP of Pi-Star, go in there to the configuration board, click on scan, click on the network, click on your password, or enter your password, click on save and connect, wait a few minutes, and then reboot the hotspot, because that's usually what I do, is I'll reboot it after that. So you don't have to do that. You just do it all from the screen. You still have to enter the password, of course, but just do it from the screen. This is your offset page where you can set your, you can key up right here, and it'll show you your bit error rate in this screen. And you can adjust this from here also. Adjust it on these screens, hit apply changes, and exit. Exit takes you back to the previous menu. Actually, that took us back to the, okay. There's the, okay, we're back to the links menu now. You can go into the profiles page and save profiles. So if you have different radios you want to save on different networks, you can save all that in there and go back, you know, if I've got multiple radios, like right now I've got my Anytone 878 Plus radio that I'm using in here, and it might have a different bit error rate than a TYT or a Redivus radio that I'm going to use, or Motorola radio that I'm going to use. So I can save profiles for the radio in this screen. And you've still got your links button at the top here. And then the last scope, it's got a built-in scope. And you can go in here and connect to, if you hit this green button at the bottom, it puts you into green is receive, red is transmit. Now, if I was connected to a talk group right now and there's activity, you would see lines coming across this screen right here for the scope, and you can kind of monitor the scope from there. You can also click this blue WLAN 0 button. There we go. And it changes it to Ethernet. So if you want, so you could see the scope coming across the Ethernet also, if you were connected via hardline to the hotspot. There we go. Put it back. Links button up here at the top. And a screensaver page. Basically what that is you can come in here and tell it how long until the screensaver, and then you can change the brightness. So after 10 minutes or 5 minutes, it'll dim the screen for you. About the only thing I can see where that would be useful is if you were running on like an actual battery. If you had an actual, like a 25,000 milliamp hour battery that you were running on, or that that battery I had in here on my DX Mini video, that was the video game battery. If you're running on that and you're trying to conserve power, then the screen's going to take a lot of power the brighter it is. So, but if you're running on, if you're plugged into your power at home, or if you're plugged into your power in your vehicle, and your vehicle's running on a road trip, I don't really see a need to dim the screen, but it's up to you. If it's not, maybe it's nighttime. Maybe you're driving at nighttime, and you don't want this really bright screen over here. So you can click the screensaver, and if there's no activity, it'll just go dark, and then it'll light up again when some kind of activity comes through. So there's the links button on the left there. And then you've got the home button right there. And that's where we are. So let's go up here, and I'm going to change this and go ahead and activate it. Let's see what it looks like when we've got actual activity on it right here. Well, you can see my antenna in the screen there. There we go. Oh, there's Mark, KM5MG. He's actually not, he's only a few miles from me. I keyed it up, but I saw someone else keyed up, so I let go of it real quick. So you see the American flag in the top left corner there. That's
showing on the South tier in a new browser.
That is obviously where the country that the person is transmitting from, or where they're registered anyway. And you can add custom images in there.
Roger, Dodger. That's kind of weird.
Like right there, Robert has a custom image
the server
on his.
And you've got
and the guy who admins the GitHub for the screen, Mitch. He can set custom avatars for you when you come in, and then it always comes in when it recognizes your call sign. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, DMR mode is click here. The only thing I changed.
Christina person's quite a bit quieter than Robert was, or the KM5NG Mark was.
English UK applied changes, and it did fine. It rebooted. I've got an IP on the bottom.
Sounds good.
Of my hotspot. I can key it up. I can see my call sign on there. It says listening first, then it shows my call sign. And I can access the dashboard. It's just that it won't connect to the network itself. like if I go to look at the active talkers, I'm keying off my talk group, and it doesn't
So, looks like he's in the middle of kind of troubleshooting an issue for someone. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll add our Texas statewide DMR net is tonight. I will add my C bridge to this hotspot and maybe be able to watch the information come across the hotspot there. KC5 HWB testing.
Sure. Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Oops.
Cut off the one that says 01. Oh, those hotspots.
Several people talking at one time. So,
Same.
oh, that guy's from Poland. You see the Polish flag at the top left there. So, Worldwide Talk Group, TGIF 31665. So, anyway, that guys is the hotspot from Robert, K4WZ Victor. And it's a pretty neat hotspot if you ask me, because it looks like it's got some neat stuff with it that I haven't seen before. There's several hotspots out there that have these Nexion screens on them. And I've seen guys post pictures on Facebook where they built their own hotspot, put a Nexion screen, and you can do that. It's nothing in the world wrong with that. But these are pre-built, pre-configured. All I did was he sent it to me, and there was like a screen update that came out like 3 days later. So I called him on the phone. He walked me how to do the screen update. From the screen, you could update the firmware on the screen, and it added some more features to it. So that was kind of fun. So has anyone seen this? And if so, what do you think? Are you a fan? Do you use it? If you do, how much do you like it? And let me know in the comments below. 73, and thanks for watching. And I hope to hear you on DMR very soon.